Okay, so you might have noticed that YouTube have done some changes to the way that their partnership program works. Firstly, being that you need 1,000 subscribers and you have to have had 4,000 hours viewed in the last 12 months. Now, you might wonder why that's relevant and why that was brought into effect. Well, firstly, it's not necessarily going to be negative for you. Sure, some of you smaller channels might have not, you'd have lost your monetization. But there were a large number of accounts that throughout the years have lost monetization throughout YouTube's algorithm, thinking that things were click frauds. And how this is brought into effect to combat that is what I'm going to describe here, because it's not necessarily negative for you, because how YouTube's system used to work was that if it detects click frauds, then it gives you one appeal and then your account's permanently banned with no right to appeal and no right to monetization ever for your Adsense. So how this works is that it's to combat that, because when you're a smaller channel, say, especially in the 2011, 2012 era, where people in the comment section always used to write, click on their adverts to give them help and all this shit. Because I've seen that on the Obscast and Slyfox, and it might have even been on Immortals and a few different channels that I used to watch back then. And I still do watch some of them, but not all of them, because I've got limited time, so it's hard to watch all of the channels and all that when you've got other things to do. But yeah, it used to be a thing on YouTube that everyone used to say, hey, click on all the adverts. And when you've got a smaller subscriber base, if people are clicking on your advert when they're your subscribers, it appears on YouTube as though, it's one person clicking it, and unless you can prove where the clicks are coming from, then they'll suspect that it's you clicking on your own adverts. You have to go out of your way to prove that it's not you. Now, in my instance, I've managed to prove that the clicks that were on my adverts were in America, and because I'm in the UK and I had no idea who they are, eventually I've managed to prove that they weren't me and that they were from YouTube and that they were on YouTube's ends. So it might have come about that because my channel was smaller and I had a smaller subscriber base that were maybe a bit too eager in clicking my adverts, because I didn't encourage it. It wasn't said on my videos, it wasn't even in my comments, but it's on YouTube's ends that the clicks were coming from a small number of people, so they thought it was click fraud, but it's just an over-eager subscriber base that were clicking on the adverts to fund a YouTuber they liked. So YouTube have obviously brought this into effect, so you need at least 1,000 subscribers, because even when you have a lot of subscribers, say PewDiePie 60 odd million and growing, I could have said the specific number, but it's growing, and it's growing constantly, and he gets like a couple of million views. So as a aspect, you have to expect that only a percentage of those will watch every video. So they've put 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours, so that there is a reasonable viewership coming in, so that it'll be varied and won't seem to come from a number of people and trigger the automated system that permanently blocks your monetization. And then you, as the content creator, are expected to know where the clicks are coming from, and if you can't explain where the clicks are coming from, you're the one that's still blamed, and if you're not responsible for the click fraud, you're not going to know where these views and these clicks are coming from, so it's hard to chase up. So that's why they've put it into effect. So while you might be losing monetization now, it's a goal that you can aim for, and it's an achievable goal to get to 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours, and then you're not going to trigger these automated things, so you're not going to be permanently banned from monetization and AdSense. So, sorry, itchy nose. What you can do now, if you were in those instances, is put a fresh appeal in. There is a back end that might work. I can't guarantee whether it'll work, and if you go into your monetization on your YouTube and you click on the associated AdSense account, and there's a button to change the associated AdSense account, but it takes you to a backdoor to the same AdSense account if you put it to your YouTube channel and the associated email, and either it will take you into there and it will begin a fresh AdSense account and reassociate it, and then it will bring up these goals and say, you're under these and awaiting those before a review process. Or it might be that because I was putting in a fresh appeal anyway and I went through the appeal system where you have to write into them via the email. And then there's the Google Help. If you click on the Google Help tab for monetization blocks, and then there's an appeal form. If you go onto that and say, you're not responsible for the click fraud, and if you look into your analytics for whenever you were demonetized and just look at where your monetization was coming from that, then associate that with how it's not you, because clearly none of that is you, or at least in my instance none of that was me. If you have committed click fraud, then maybe you deserve it and you're probably not going to get your account back. But if you're one of these that were falsely triggered, and I've seen a number of YouTube channels and Rockly Smile and a few others that have stated how they were associated with this click fraud problem when they weren't doing it. So, if you're not responsible for it and you can show that the monetization wasn't from you or, any way that you could be associated with, then, you've got a right to appeal and a way to show that. And now that they've put these goals up, if you're under these goals, you're probably incorrectly flagged. So you could write to them and appeal and say, well, I'm smaller than this, and, maybe you'll unlock your account. But all I'm saying is that my account through these seems to have been unlocked, and maybe they changed the monetization rules because I was appealing my account, and then they changed the rules to fit. So hey, if you're a small channel, you can't get YouTube monetization on your partnership, but if you're a over 1,000 subs, then you can. Maybe I created this entire thing entirely inadvertently by trying to unlock my Adsense account that they locked way back then when, it wasn't my click fraud, and, I proved that it wasn't my click fraud by saying all of these things. Maybe, just maybe, I could be responsible for the whole 1,000 subs being required and 4,000 hours being viewed in the last 12 months. Maybe, but it's not going to hurt you. It's actually good for you because it's not going to trigger false click fraud claims and falsely lock out of you for monetization permanently. Now, this does put me off putting AdSense on my website, because I could put AdSense on my website, but I do also know that from looking at my analytics on my website, the web stats, the AW stats, and the other stats, there's two different stats that are running. One's AW, one's another one. I don't know which one's the good one, but one of them, it shows the number of views and the number of visitors and the number of different things. So the unique visitors, there's like about 900 at the moment, unique visitors per month. And then there's 10,000 unique page views per month. After it takes off the robots and all the bad traffic, and the robots and the bad traffic are about 30,000 views per month. So there's about 40,000 page views per month. And 30,000 of those are robots and bad traffic and I'm being a vampire now. No. DDoS. That's the word. It remotely... briefly eluded me. My brain is not functioning well because of fucking dicks that... they deprive you of sleep and they'll break your brain and they'll make you lose words and lose feeling and lose emotion and just feel like shit the entire week. So, this is off energy drink. It's trying to keep me up as well and, make me feel a bit more human. But words have been eluding me. Anyway, the bad traffic has been excluded from the results. So there's about... It says, even, on the page stats, it's like, we've excluded this many page views that were the bad traffic, and these are the actual traffic stats, actual visitors and actual humans. We spent an average of about 90 minutes per page, per visit. So, there's been about 10,000 page views over about 900 people. And, they spend about an hour and a half on the site. So, they reasonable view, not bad traffic, all of it. But the amount of bad traffic, I don't know if that would also trigger AdSense problems, because, you know, 3/4 of it being robots and shitty stuff, that's pretty bad. And, you know, I've tried excluding IPs and bad things, and I don't know how to stop them. They ignore robots.txt to say, hey, you know, don't visit for another, I've put 120 days or something, and it's like, you know, they still ignore that. Like, you know, stay away from my site, stop crawling everything over and over and over again, but they still do it. And it's like, god damn it, it eats up all the processor and all of the thing, and it's like, you know, you got limited processor space but unlimited hosting, and it's like, then it goes above the amount of processor bandwidth you're going to use in a month, and it's like, it's pretty bad. But, you know, I've done everything I can to combat it, and it puts me off putting the AdSense, because even though there's still 1/4 good traffic who, you know, would use the site, would all the robots just click the AdSense all the time? Is there a way to, maybe Google could put in their algorithm for robots not to click on any AdSense links? And another thing that puts me off slightly is the viruses that you do get sometimes in there, because I've seen viruses trigger on adverts, and it's like, not ideal. So, you know, I could monetize my site with AdSense, but I'm going to keep it for YouTube for when I eventually get monetization, when I get 1,000 subs. So we're slowly getting there, slowly but surely. But yeah, that is maybe why they've put these limits in, so that it protects you. It protects the adverts, it protects them, and it protects you. You know, you're not going to get false triggers of click frauds, because, you know, when you've got 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours viewed in a year, then, you know, they're going to have a reasonable base to not have, you know, just one person clicking the adverts over and over again, because you're a smaller channel, or, you know, a handful, I don't know how many it was, but yeah, when you're a smaller channel, you're more likely to get just a small handful of people clicking your links, because if they're returning to your content and enjoying it and they're clicking on your adverts, then, you know, they might think you're helping you, but actually they're hurting you in those instances. But once you're bigger and, you know, you've got enough of subscriber and viewer base, then it's going to vary up the traffic, and it's going to vary up the clicks, and they're not going to see a whole list of these same IP addresses are the ones that are triggering your adverts over and over again, even though, you know, you've got no control over that, and no control over who shares your videos and who views them, or where they're posted. But, you know, if you're putting them on YouTube and they're monetized, this is actually helping you as a content creator and protecting you. Now, you know, it then becomes, what do you get from joining a network? Because, you know, when you're with a network, you know, when you're a smaller channel and different things, there might be upsides, but, you know, most networks don't necessarily do that much for you, so you'd have to actually see what they would do for you and bring for you that you would actually get out of it. So, you know, you want some sort of benefits to it. Do they bring games to you? Do they bring sponsorship opportunities to you? Do they bring anything to the table? And you have to balance these out as to what you are getting from these opportunities, because, you know, especially if you're with PR companies and different things as well already, you know, is being with a network going to detriment you? You know, are you going to be not allowed to use opportunities that you get from these PR companies and these different things? And yeah, so you've got to balance these out, and, you know, there are opportunities out there that you can go on your own and find, or be invited to, because, you know, I do get invited to a lot of opportunities, and, you know, would a network stop you from taking these when you can get your own monetization from YouTube once you're big enough? And, you know, your own sponsorship opportunities, because YouTube are branching out into sponsorship opportunities, but so are Twitch. You know, Twitch are bringing the bounty board and different things like that, so there are inline sponsorship opportunities on Twitch, so they want their own cut of it, basically, in the back end. And maybe YouTube could bring that to the table as well, and, you know, maybe have back end sponsorship opportunities for YouTube partners. And obviously it's probably only going to go to the high end ones rather than the lower end ones, but it would be nice to have something that brings it to the table. And, you know, that's what networks could possibly do as well, is they could, because they used to take on people smaller than the requirements for YouTube views, and if they want to bring on and sign these people up in advance, and then, you know, grow them and help them grow to those opportunities, then that would be a reason to go with those channels. And then once you've got the monetization, you know, maybe it's in the contract that you have to stay with them for X number of years once you've reached monetization, and, you know, to pay them off for helping grow your channel. That would be a great opportunity for networks to grow into. So, you know, if there are any networks out there that want to help channels grow from a smaller, you know, smaller channel and grow a community of smaller channels up from the ground up, and then, you know, have the contracts that they have to stay with the channel and, you know, be monetized through them, then that would actually help, and, you know, help grow channels, and that would actually be an opportunity for networks out there to actually show that they're worth going with, and that would grow a lot of respect and, you know, bring people together in behind creators and the networks, because, you know, a lot of people don't go with networks anymore because they don't offer that much. But that would be the hugest thing that networks could offer right now, is to grow channels and help promote them to become big enough for YouTube sponsorship and, you know, YouTube monetization. So, you know, if there are any networks out there that want to actually do that rather than all the false claims that a lot of them do, then, you know, feel free to join them and feel free to do that. But I don't think that there are any networks out there that are specifically designed to help grow channels from the ground up, you know. Whereas I see a lot of them claiming false things and not really offering it, because, you know, they're like, hey, join our network, and then it's like, well, you know, you've got a lot of fake claims and things that are supposedly out there but aren't. So, you know, those ones aren't joining. But again, those ones aren't the respectable ones like Maker and different things, and like unknown ones that I'm not going to name because I don't want to slag them off, even though, you know, they really don't offer what they claim, and even though they pursue you and hound you and send you like 60 requests, and it's like, no, you do not offer this, and so stop. Anyway, if you are demonetized, and you have been for a long time, now that they've created these limitations to get monetization on your YouTube partnership, it might be worth looking back into getting your Adsense account unlocked, because you might be able to do that now. So whether you have to go in the backdoor way, which, you know, might not work, but it's how I discovered that my Adsense was actually refreshed and unlocked. But it might be that that's a way to now unlock it from within. So, you know, it might be a backdoor to unlocking it, but don't tell YouTube. But it might just be that my latest series of attempts at unlocking my account actually resulted in this system and resulted in my Adsense getting unlocked. So yeah, it's worth looking into whether you can get your Adsense unlocked now, because, you know, they've got these limitations in place, and if you weren't responsible for any click frauds, you know, you can't really necessarily prove that it's not you, because you don't know where it's coming from. How do you prove that? You know, it's like, unless you're going to tell me where the traffic's come from, how the hell am I supposed to know? But, you know, if you've got your YouTube analytics of when you've got the monetization that you were getting when you were monetized, and it's not you, clearly, then, you know, that's a route to go down and pursue if you want to try. But it's worth giving it another try. Like I say, if you're smaller than that and you know that you're not responsible for the click frauds, then give it one last try on the forums, and, you know, just say, hey, I'm smaller than this, and, you know, I don't know where it's coming from. Maybe it's an overzealous visitor or subscriber, because it probably was, you know, just one or a handful of overzealous subscribers that were just clicking on your links a lot. That's probably what it was. Anyway, good luck out there getting remonetized, and, you know, as my channel grows, it used to grow quicker when I was back in 2011, 2012, but now that I'm being more active again, and hey, ho, no, we're not singing ho, hey, that's someone else. Anyway, so join us again for some more. Thanks for watching, goodbye.